Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at HBAR. Before we jump into the analysis, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comments section. So we had this move up yesterday and we were talking about it ending potentially as a diagonal here, but it did progress through that. So now we have to look at the structure again and try and figure out what's going on. So it is possible that there could be some further extension within here which isn't quite apparent yet. However, this is currently what I'm looking at, and basically the way we'd have to look at this then is that actually what we've had is here as a 1 2 3 4 5 as a diagonal. So this could be either the start or the end of a move. So I'm looking at it currently as this fifth wave, which would mean that we have this fourth wave here. So we need to also bear in mind that there is a potential we could see further extension here, and we'll go over that within the video. But basically what I'm looking at within this move is this is a wave 1 here, this potentially is a wave 3, and then we've actually come down into this fourth wave area here. So if that is the case, and actually what we're looking for is this additional fifth wave, the target zone for that would be this 0892 to this 08339 zone. So that would be if we're looking to push up. We did talk about yesterday interacting with this channel line that we had drawn, and we have actually come up here and hit it. So we need to just bear in mind that this could actually be completed into here, and the subwaves are slightly out, and actually this is the end point of this fifth wave. So when we're looking at these subwave counting on sort of a micro scale, we have to allow for the fact that some of these moves are difficult to see until we actually get the whole picture and we get that rejection or we get a continuation. So basically within this, what we'd be looking for is the potential that this is a fourth wave completed within to this zone. It is also possible that it could move back up, get rejection, and come back down again and basically become an ABC. The moves within it we can potentially count as a completed move. However, there is still a potential that we could move back up to the 781 to the 747 and look for continuation to the downside or to move sideways within this zone. So we just need to give it a bit of time to see how we react. But I wouldn't really want to lose, I wouldn't want to come much deeper than this zone, because if we do start to break this area, it becomes less likely that this is a fourth wave and that we actually could look to potentially break down, which we're also going to go over later on in the video. So make sure you stay tuned in. So within this, if this is a fourth wave, what I'd want to see is this low hold here. And then effectively from this low point, what we'd want to see is we'd want to start to form structure like this, where we form a higher low into this, and then we look to break up above some of these key points, find support, and then take this high point. Like I said, this typical zone that we'd be looking for here as a fifth wave would be up here in this red box. But we need to also just bear in mind we could see either a breakdown from this point, or potentially that we could extend further out past this box. So we got to have to give it a little bit of time and see the waves form as they in real time to get an idea of where we are within this. But yeah, I would say that we're potentially towards the end of this move looking at the structure. So basically within this, like I said, fifth wave up to there, or alternatively we're going to look to move back into the 781 to the 747 range and then look for that continuation. That's my primary count within this. So if we do move up, that's the target zone. And basically within this, what we'd be looking for is once that completes, we can argue then, if I come back out on the 4 hours so it's easier to see, what we could see then, if this is a completed move up into these high points, where we're looking at this as a 1 2 3 4 and a 5 up into here, what we could then see is basically a deeper retracement. And if we're having a deeper retracement within this zone, it depends if we get this fifth wave up. If we get this fifth wave up, our target zone as a B wave would be this 554 to this 0430. So that would be a zone we'd be looking to actually come back into, test for support, and then look to push back up. So if we do actually push up into these zones, we could actually look to break back down here and then push up one more time. Like I said, however, we need to be open to the fact that there could be some extension within this that hasn't quite finished playing out yet. I can't see it currently. Like I said, it is possible we can count this as a 1 2 3, but what would happen then is basically once we complete this push to the upside, either we would find support again within this fourth wave zone and push one more time, or we would actually start to break down. If we start to break down here from here, I said before, this 0.5 So this 0544 would be a zone we're looking to target out, all the way down to 786 really would be a B wave location. If we break down from where we are, it changes the zone slightly. We'd be looking potentially for this 537 all the way down to this 0424. We wouldn't really know until we get better structure here. So that would be what we'd be looking out for. And effectively, until we actually break this high point here, it is possible that this could still be a corrective move, and we're going to go over that shortly. But basically, even if we do have this as a 5-wave move to the upside, it can still be seen as a corrective structure in its current position, where we could look at this as an A, a B, and effectively a C. And this would play out quite nicely between the channel lines, which would then potentially mean that we have another rejection and a push to the downside. So we just got to keep this in mind, that currently this 5-wave move, even if it completes up here, it's not a bullish structure yet. We'd have to wait for that retest and then that continuation, in my opinion, to get more confirmation that at least we're going to have another 5-wave move to the upside. Okay, so basically what I was saying previously is that there is the potential that we could be completed. So I'm going to turn all this off for a second. So the thing about this move that worries me is this middle section. So I've been looking at it, I'm looking at it as a diagonal, but I don't really like how high this wave came in here. It hasn't broken any rules, so it is technically viable to be a diagonal in this area. But what we would then have to see is that if it's not a diagonal, basically we would have to look at this as a 3, 4, and a 5 into this high point here. And then effectively from there, we can potentially count this as a corrective structure as an A, B, and a C in the midpoint of this. And if we were looking at this, then basically what we'd be looking for from here would be another 5-wave move as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and potentially that 5th wave up. And then basically from that, what we would then only have here is a corrective structure as an A, a B, and a C wave. It would be a very flat B wave, but it can happen sometimes. So we need to just bear that in mind, that if we want to look at it in this regard, we could actually just have this as a let's get into that high point. Let me move this back up here. There we go. Down into this low point here. Effectively, you can see we've actually come up here and hit this 1-to-1. So I'm just being a bit cautious with this, that if we do actually roll over from here and start to form 5-wave structure, it could be that we've actually completed in here at this 1-to-1, and that we'll actually look to break down. So we just need to give it a bit of time for confirmation on that, or whether we get that additional leg up. So this is just a couple of options out there that we can keep a track of and see how they progress, and then see basically which is which one is behaving the right way. So if we were looking to break down from this current high point, basically what we'd want to see, I'm going to come back in to the 1 hour here. We would have to then argue that we have a 5-wave move here potentially, and basically that this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to the downside, if that's the case. So if we're looking at it like this, what we'd be looking for is, like I said, this push back up into the 781 to the 747 area, and that would be looking for a move up in a 3-wave move. And what we'd want to see is something like this as an A, a B, and then potentially a C coming up into this zone. And what we would want to see there is basically retesting these areas here. So I'm going to throw the fib onto this. Let me get right down into this low point. So depending on how high we come, potentially we could look to target out this 0.5 at a typical replacement. The 0.6 is 786, so it depends. The 0.5 is the bottom of this move, 786 is the top of the swing of this high here. So it is possible we look to actually retest some of these areas. 0.618 sort of in the middle there. If we do move up into this zone and then face rejection again, it is possible that we could see either this play out as an ABC, or alternatively a 5-wave move to the downside. So I'm going to throw this up here. Let's say we come up to this 50%, or potentially 618 is a common area, so I'm going to just throw it on that 618. So if we did get basically a 1-to-1 move down from this 618 area, that would take us down to this 0648. So that would then just be a corrective structure as A, B, and a C as a zigzag. So it would, if we come down that low though, it would indicate to me that potentially we're having this as a completed move, and we could actually look for extension to the upside again. So we'd have to be careful with this. If we were looking for, basically if we were looking for this to start breaking down, once we've formed this A wave, this B wave, and this C wave, either we would be looking for an impulsive line, which would be basically coming down past this 0.587, in which case then we could look at this potentially as a bigger 5-wave move here, and this would be a 1, 2, 3, up in a 4th, and down in a 5th wave. So potentially, it obviously depends how the waves form exactly. Sometimes we can get extension and these things can move faster than other times. But as a typical area, it would be looking potentially to this 573 to this 551. That would be a typical sort of 5th wave if it plays out exactly like I've got it mapped out here. So that would then mean that we have a 5-wave move. If we have a 5-wave move play out like this, it would indicate to me that we're going to get basically another 3-wave move to the upside like this. Look for rejection again, and then look for another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside. So if that's the case, we could then be looking for that B wave retracement that we were talking about previously, and that zone is basically off of the current point. Let's get this right on this low point here. This 537 to this sort of 0424 area. So if we do move back down here, that could be an interesting zone. The 0.5 would be quite interesting, because if we are looking at this as a as an extension in this 5th wave here, then potentially this would be a retest of the 4th at this 50%. So either we could see a move down into this zone, we bounce up, and then we come further and then come down lower, or we just move into the 0.5 zone and then look to push up again. So we just got to give it a bit of time and see how the move reacts. Well, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. And leave us some feedback down below. Let us know what you were thinking. Do you think that we have a bottom in here and this is the start of a bigger move to the upside? Or are you still thinking we have lower to go? Always happy to hear from you guys. In the description below, you'll also find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? Once in there, just mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description below, you'll find affiliate links to PrimeXBT and BYBIT. These are great exchanges. They're the ones we use when we're doing our trading, whether that's spot trading, leverage trading. It really is great. They're both great exchanges. In PrimeXBT, you can also trade regular stocks, commodities, whatever you want to do. In there, it really is quite a good exchange to use for those sorts of things. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see each other in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.